Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sports Force Coach's Corner. I'm here with Siouxland Christian head boys basketball coach Loren De Jong. Coach, thank you very much for joining us on Coach's Corner.
Jason, it is a privilege to be here.
All right, well, hey, Coach, one of the reasons we're having you on is your Siouxland Christian team picked up their first win of the season earlier this last week. What was it like going through that game against Storm Lake St. Mary's?
Well, I got to just tell you, I'm really happy for our young men. They've worked extremely hard. We spent the entire summer, 4 days a week, a couple hours a day, just starting from ground zero to try to build something that lasts and is sustainable. And the guys have put in a ton of work. And to finally get a victory just was really sweet. And it was fun for me to just see those guys and the smiles and our fans. It was great.
You kind of touched on it right there, but being able to see these kids, finally see the work that they've put in, you mentioned in the off season, to come to fruition, even if it is for that one game, to see it come to fruition right there. What does that mean to you?
It just means a lot. It's really kind of what we're built on, is we're trying to transform boys to men. We want to build champions off the court by building them on the court. And to be a champion just requires a lot of hard work, a lot of sacrificial giving, caring about the people around you, great teamwork. And when you sacrifice and serve and put in all that time and finally, break through, it just feels really good. And that's the kind of thing that we're after, because it's those lessons for the rest of their life they get to take with them.
And you mentioned that you're a guy, you've always touched on that. It matters more what happens off the court, creating champions off the court. Where did that philosophy come from in your time coaching, or has that always kind of been there in your time coaching?
Oh, that's a great question. I could probably go back to the Hall of Fame coach, Larry Korver, back in 1997. I actually thought about getting out of coaching. Had a very successful 5 years. And I met with him, and as I left that meeting, I'm like, okay, I had to kind of refocus. And I think that's the beauty of maybe being an older coach, right? It's like I see a much bigger picture. And it became from that point on and investing in the lives of these men, because they'll get to play sports for 3-4 years and then it's over. And so our question is, what are these guys going to be like 10 years from now, 20 years from now? And sports is the greatest tool there is to teach these guys how to be men. So Larry Korver just inducted with, I know, Nick Saban and Urban Meyer. I mean, it's just a beautiful thing. So really grateful to him.
And you mentioned seeing these guys turn into men and moving on to their lives after high school and after sports, but some of your former players have stuck around in sports. I know we were talking about Bill Harmson before we went on air. What does it mean to you, and what's it like for you to kind of see your guys stick with sports and now show up and coach on the sidelines?
Yeah, that's awesome. In fact, I think just Friday, I had 2 former players, Parker Mulder and Joel Cady, Knoxville, and MOC Floyd Valley duking it out in Wells Fargo. Just really neat to see those guys. But I'm telling you, the guys that we've coached, from neurosurgeons to teachers to attorneys, whatever it is, like, we'd like to feel like we've had a big role in their success, or at least in helping them be that. And nothing more proud for us to see those guys have success, but also as husbands and fathers. But don't kid yourself. We want to win on the court, and that's how you do it. Like, you got to learn how to win here on the court, and we go after that hard.
What was the decision process? We haven't talked much about your decision to go from MOC Floyd Valley to Siouxland Christian. I mean, that's got to be a tough decision to go from winning a state championship to saying, I'm going to start something new here at Siouxland Christian.
Yeah. Well, I think what you just said, to start something new, is just really looking for a challenge. And the fact of the matter is, I believe in this school. Like, I wouldn't come here if I didn't believe in it. And I've known enough about the school, the quality of the teachers, the community that's a part of it. It's a great community. And really, up until now, there just hasn't been maybe a great visionary for athletics, what it takes to be successful. And, you know, when I met with the board and the administration, they're like, hey, we would like you to help us set that vision and that tone, and to know their commitment to athletics as we seek to develop the entire child. Like, I just couldn't pass it up. So,
what you know, in your mission now to do that, what do you think kind of makes a successful first year at Siouxland Christian?
oh, that's a great question. Well, I have to tell you, the kids that we have, I can't tell you how hard they've worked, but I've already seen the successes. We've played games, we've been beaten, and either players from the other team have come up to me or parents and have said, man, I wish we could be on your team. And I think what they're seeing is guys that care about each other, guys that play for each other, that are selfless, that play hard, I think really compete at the best of our ability. Those are successes to me. And our guys, I know they're already talking about the men they're becoming. And they're learning, like, this really isn't about my fame and my glory. It's about how well I can serve others and make a difference. So but I'm telling you, we're not going to stop with one. We're going to keep going, Jason. We're going to get another. We're going to do whatever we can to keep working for it. And you know what? If we get it, we're going to celebrate it. But we celebrate all of these character things that we're going after when we see them displayed on the court, which we don't do perfectly. We don't, but we're trying, right? And when we see those things and we hear people say, hey, we are inspired by the character we've seen in your men, that's the picture.
And you might have touched on it right there, but my last question for you, there's been a recent kind of influx of a new generation of coaches here, especially in Siouxland.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for those guys, whether it's on the court or off the court, on what it's like going through this in your first couple of years?
Okay, you ask really good questions. That's a great question. You know, it's really interesting you say that, because I've had parents in Orange City and in Sioux City go, I really want my son to be coached by an older man. And I think it's the experience, the value, the character. And so if I were giving advice to any young coaches out there, it'd be, number one, it's not about you. Larry Corver had to tell me, Coach, it's not about you. And if you're going to coach, you need to be investing in them, in their lives, and it's going to require a lot of sacrifice. And it's not easy. It's not for cowards. Like, it is a tough profession. But if you're willing to lay down yourself for the sake of those young men and focus on, I think, what really matters. Yeah, we want to go win a champ. Who doesn't, right? But focus on what really matters, the character of the young man and what he becomes someday. I think they'll find it very fulfilling and rewarding. But if you focus only on this immediate scoreboard, it's pretty short-lived. You know, we won the state title. It was so much fun, but that's gone, right? It's like, it's a memory that's gone. And so it's the character of those guys that I get to, you know, kind of take with, so.
All right, well, thank you very much for joining us on Coach's Corner. Coach, ladies and gentlemen, please join us next Sunday for the next edition of Coach's Corner.